How's it going, everybody? This is Pristine Paper back again for another video. And today I'm going over my full Celtics game catalog, otherwise known as every Celtics game I've personally been to. So I've been to 11 Celtics games, and they've all been Celtics home games at TD Garden. And these games span between the years 2016 and 2025, so this current year. And like I said, 11 games. One of them was a playoff game, all of these are just regular season games besides that. And I've seen a lot of really great games, a lot of great competition, and I thought, wow, maybe I should go through all these games and rank them as well. So that's what we're going to be doing today, going through my top or ranking my games that I've been to in person, that I've actually attended. So that's what we're going to start with. We're going to start with the 11th ranked game. I'm maybe doing this on the TierMaker site, so I'm going to be putting that on the screen here as well, so you can follow along with that. But before we really get started, I really wanted to say this video is probably taken me the most amount of time out of any video that I've made, just preparing and finding images and videos and just compiling the stats together, and just the editing as well will take a long time. So I really just hope you guys will leave a like and subscribe and just comment on this, just engage on this video as much as you can. Just shows me that, you know, you guys really like this type of stuff. So without further ado, again, let's start it. So to get it started, my last place ranked game is actually the New Year's Eve game that happened on December 31st, 2021, the Phoenix Suns versus the Boston Celtics at home, the TD Garden. I attended this one with Layla, my girlfriend, and the final score ended up being 123 to 108 Celtics. Team highs for points, it was Devin Booker with 22 and Jaylen Brown with 24. Rebounds for the Suns, Jalen Smith had 7 and Jaylen Brown had 11. Assists for the Suns, CP3, Chris Paul had 8 and Rob Williams had 10. Funny enough, yeah, Rob Williams had 10 assists in this game, which is crazy. Some additional information why this game is ranked so low. Basically, Tatum was injured and did not play in this game. So that's kind of a big reason why I have it ranked so low. Additionally, I just don't have a lot of memories from this game as well. I think the Suns were also missing Ayton at this time, and maybe Mikal Bridges too. So like there were a lot of injuries in this game, and it was kind of a blowout. Like Brown and Smart both scored 24 points each, so they combined for 48 points. Rob Williams actually had a triple-double, going back to his 10 assists. He had 10 points, 11 rebounds, and 10 assists, so that was kind of cool to see. And some of the X factor for this game, I guess, is the star power, such as like Devin Booker and Chris Paul. Got to see those guys play in person, which is always fun, just, you know, seeing the competition itself. So that's kind of why I have it ranked so low in my 11th ranked spot. And on the tier list ranker, it's going to be in the D rank, which is the lowest rank. None of these games have been an F. No Celtics game, and if you go in attendance, is ever going to be an F, unless it's extremely poor and nobody's playing and it's a real blowout. So like I said, this one, the Phoenix Suns versus Boston Celtics, December 31st, 2021, is going to be in the D rank. Next up, in my 10th ranked spot, we have my most recent game, actually, which was on January 10th of 2025. It was the Sacramento Kings versus the Boston Celtics. I attended this one with Layla again, and my sister and her fiance Eric. So that was really fun. They brought us tickets, so that's definitely a plus for the rank there. But the final score actually was 114-97 Kings, so this was a loss. Kind of disappointing. The team highs in terms of points were DeMar DeRozan had 24 and Jaylen Brown had 28. Rebounds, Sabonis, 28 rebounds. Yeah, that's crazy. And Tatum had 12 for the Celtics. Assists, we had DeMar DeRozan with 9, and Jaylen Brown had 5. So the reason why this game is so low is just because the Celtics didn't even score 100 points. No De'Aaron Fox in this one, so that's kind of a bummer in terms of the X factor of the star power. Sabonis had the insane 28 rebounds though, with 23 points. So 23 points, 28 rebounds. It was the most rebounds in an NBA game since I think 2021 or 2020, so 4 or 5 years. And DeMar DeRozan had a vintage performance of 24 points and 9 assists, along with 19 points from Keegan Murray and 22 from Malik Monk. And like I said, Tatum had a really bad game. I think he had 8 turnovers and like 3 fouls. But another pretty nice little sprinkle in here is I got to see Kristaps Porzingis play in person for the first time. So that was really fun. The other games I've been to, he was injured. So he actually had a double with 22 points and 10 assists. So this is actually going to go into the C rank here. And like I said, the reason why it's in the C rank is the game was just kind of a tough one. The Celtics weren't playing really well overall, and that's really the only reason why it went so low. We had great seats, and then it was first row balcony, so that was really fun. And to go to a game with my sister and her fiance for the first time was really a good time too. So thanks again to them for that experience. But unfortunately, the gameplay is going to put it into the C rank. Next game on the list at number 9 is going to be the Sacramento Kings again, actually. But this game occurred on November 25th, 2022. It was the Sacramento Kings, of course, versus the Boston Celtics. I attended this one with a few of my friends, Alex, Nick, Joe, Jack, and Nick Whitney. I have two Nicks in there, so shout out to them. Final score of that game was a 122-104 Boston, and that was a pretty much of not a blowout, but we were very much in control of that game. The team highs in terms of points was Fox with 20, and Tatum had 30 points. Rebounds, Sabonis only had 10 this time, and Tatum had 8. Assists, Sabonis had 6, and Grant Williams had 5. So additional information, like I said, dominant win. Sabonis had a double-double actually of 18 and 10, and Fox also played pretty well here with 20 points and 4 rebounds and 2 assists. However, that did not do enough as the Celtics really just steamrolled them here. Jason Tatum had 30 points, 8 rebounds, and 4 assists. Jaylen Brown had 25, 5 rebounds and 4 assists. Al Horford had 13, Derek White had 16. So really just an all-around well-rounded performance from these guys. And with Tatum and Brown combining for 55, that's just going to really put it over the edge for them and kind of dominate that Kings team. But we were seated actually in the very last row of the arena, so we had our backs to the walls. Pretty cheap seats, and like I said, it was just like a cheap, fun experience to go with those guys. And we had a lot of fun. A few drinks and things like that. So definitely can't complain. But I'm putting that in the C tier as well. I don't want it to feel like I'm bullying the Sacramento Kings here. But unfortunately, for me, they haven't really been that entertaining when I've seen them play the Celtics. So I'm putting them here in the C tier at number 9. And like I said, this one ranks ahead of the previous Kings game just because the Celtics won this game, and Tatum played really well. He almost had a triple-double. I mean, not close to. He had 30 and 8 and 4. So really just an all-around good game to see for Tatum, which is kind of why I go to the games. Tatum's my favorite player, so if he plays really well, that's just a huge bonus for me. And the additional star power here, or X factor for the star power, we saw De'Aaron Fox. And we saw Sabonis, so this would be our technically first time seeing Sabonis, but we've seen him 2 times now, and everybody else on that team is pretty much the same. Malik Monk, Harrison Barnes is no longer there, Keegan Murray, but yeah, we got to see De'Aaron Fox play, so not like him not playing in the second game was much of a big deal. But anyway, they are going in the C rank here. All right, and here we are at our 8th game, or not technically 8th game, this is the 4th game, but 8th spot. And we're going to be talking about the Cleveland Cavaliers. And this game, again, happened on October 28th, 2022. And like I said, it was the Cleveland Cavaliers versus the Boston Celtics. One of the first games of the season. And I attended this one with Layla as well. And the final score of this one ended up being 132-123 Cavs, and it went into overtime. So this was actually the second overtime game that I saw. Or no, I'm sorry, this is the third overtime game that I've seen in person. But this is the first one we're going to be talking about here. So like I said, the Celtics lost this one, and for team highs, it was a kind of a tie for the Cleveland Cavaliers. As for points, Karis LeVert and Donovan Mitchell both had 41. Crazy. They combined for 82 points, and Jaylen Brown had 32 for the Celtics. Rebounds, we have Jarrett Allen with 11 and Jaylen Brown with 8. So really good game for Brown. Assists, we had LeVert with 7, and Marcus Smart had 7 as well for the Celtics. Like I said, Karis LeVert and Mitchell both had 41 and combined for 82. Tatum and Brown did each combine for 64, and they had 32 each, so combined for 64. And kind of an little X factor here I wrote here was Blake Griffin played in this game, which was that was really fun to see. But however, this was an overtime game, so like I said, regulation ended in a tie. That was really interesting to see in person again. Really, makes for a good game. And for the Cavaliers, in terms of just other mentions, we have Evan Mobley had 19 and 10, and Jarrett Allen had double-double with 12 and 11 as well, so both of them had double-doubles. And like I said, both of their guards had 41 points. No Darius Garland in this one, so kind of a bummer there. But some of the X factors that we saw for them that was Evan Mobley, Jarrett Allen, I would put him in there. Donovan Mitchell, Karis LeVert, and Kevin Love for technically a legend there. And then like for the Celtics, like I said, both the Jays combined for 64. And then from there, it was really just a sharp drop-off. Al Horford had 12. He was the next leading scorer, and then Marcus Smart had 11. Really bad game from Derek White. He only had 9 points. And then Malcolm Brogdon also had 9. And like I said, Blake Griffin had 7. He was in there as well. So kind of a tough game. Like I said, went to overtime. And it was like one of the first games of the season, so it wasn't really like a big deal with the loss, but it was just tough loss there. So like I said, I'm going to put this at number 8, and I'm putting it in at the B rank. And the reason for that is just really good gameplay, and all of the star players really had good games. Like I would put LeVert in there just because when Garland isn't playing, LeVert does really well. So, Brown and Tatum both did really well, and LeVert and Mitchell. So I'm going to put it in the B rank. And the only other reason it's kind of so low is because it was a loss. So there we have the Cavs at B. Okay, next up in the 7th spot, we have my very first NBA game ever, and my very first Celtics game. And this was on March 16th, 2016. And it was the OKC Thunder versus Boston Celtics. And I attended this one with my 2 Italian exchange friends and brothers, I can honestly say, Alessandro and Daniele. And that was their first NBA game as well, so that's a really added cool special X factor I can put there to see them experience an NBA game, just being such big fans themselves. And unfortunately, the final score of this one was 130 to 109 OKC. And we really, at this time, the Celtics didn't really have that much talent other than Isaiah Thomas. So we kind of were expected to lose this game. And here we go. I'll show you why. Team highs in points, Durant had 28, and Isaiah Thomas had 29. So that was a good game for my T. Rebounds was for the OKC Thunder was Enes Kanter with 12, and Amir Johnson for the Celtics had 12 as well. And then for assists, Durant had 9, and Amir Johnson had 5. So additional
Boston get the pace of this game up with their defense and their rebounding and get it in the open court.
So really
Boston is 5-1 this year in home second halves of back-to-backs. Durant connects. The first
5 rebounds and 5 assists. So just a great all-around performance.
Durant trying to take advantage of his height on Smart. He is feisty though, but Durant gets this 9 on 6'4". And a lot of people will tell you Durant is even taller than 6'9".
And what they're looking for here is Boston going to eventually give help. If so, now you'll start to being able to get to the 3-point.
Boston likes to play fast. Isaiah Thomas especially as he gets to the cup in nifty fashion.
15 rebounds a game, double-figure points, do it in 24 minutes, so he's giving them good production.
Westbrook slashing through with the left hand.
I told you we were going to feed nights in 4 cities and 4 different time zones if there's such a thing, and he is never going to get tired.
And he's always going to have an interesting outfit as well. That's a given too with Westbrook.
Jalen, I'm sure, had fun in the studio with his outfit as we see him going. That time Steven Adams was in there, made him change that shot. Make him shoot oversized in the paint.
Westbrook has the last 6. Durant has already been active this quarter and adds 2 more. TD guard.
All you want is a sliver of hope.
That's right.
Just give us a chance.
Whoa, Westbrook, the
So this, like
8 points for Westbrook in this first quarter. 10 for Durant, who has checked out. As Smart gets denied inside by Robertson, but the persistence and the fit.
It was really nice to see
23-13, Oklahoma City lead. See Kelly Olynyk
when they were still,
getting ready to check in. He's missed the last 12 games for Ball. As Amir
Johnson
curls it up and in.
Play was also really fun. Unfortunately, I just don't have a ton of memories from that game, as it was over close to 10 years ago now. It's about 9 years, so that's why I'm putting it in at B, and then my number 7th ranked game. Okay, next up in the 6th ranked position, we have the NBA game where it was the actual NBA Cup, and this was on November 12th in 2024.
Moves in, needs help and finds it. Keaton Wallace takes White inside. Loose ball. Celtics have it. That great defense by Derek White. Up to Holiday.
This game for free. Final score of the game, unfortunately, though, was 117.
Hasn't touched it much here in the fourth quarter. White turns the corner. Gets baseline. Shovel. Corner 3. Tatum, no. Dyson made him pull it back. White for 3 at the end of the clock.
That's a dagger. That's a dagger. Hawks play really good defense. You don't need a 3 right now, Bob. If anything, still continue to force the switch. Do not get caught up. And value the basketball.
111 to 108. Dyson on the bounce. Here's Jalen. 7 to shoot. Johnson to the basket. Reverse. Good.
What a play by Jalen Johnson.
18 for Jalen. Cuts it to 1. Derek White, unreal. 4 threes in the fourth quarter. 7 for the game.
So that was really nice. Unfortunately, no Trae Young in this game.
111 to 110. Brown.
Keaton Wallace, you got to step up. Because Hawks consider that a black. You got to step up. You got to switch that.
114 to 110. Jalen going in. Got the bump. Shot it short. Rebound Atlanta. Nance. 3-ball. Corner.
Oh, big bucket.
Larry Nance Jr. buries his, let's see, 6th three-pointer tonight. It's 114 to 113 with 1:09.
Jalen Johnson with a triple-double.
Derek White. Keaton Wallace on him, creeping up. Now at the foul line, Brown puts it up and in. 37 for Jaylen Brown. Hawks are down 116-113. Daniels across to Wallace. Keaton gets into the paint. His floater is good. It's a 1-point game.
Again, if you're the Hawks, stay solid. You need one solid possession.
7 points for Keaton all in the fourth quarter. 116-115. White moves in. Corner 3 for Tatum. Pops out. Jalen's got it with 20 seconds. Quinn says play on. Hawks down 1. Jalen Johnson with 14, 13, timeout. Quinn stops it.
Everything was free. I didn't have to pay for anything. So really, shout out to my cousin again. But I'm going to put this one in the B tier as well, just because we lost this game. Everything else still was really, really cool, but there's just a lot of other games, a couple other games I've been to that I think were ranked ahead of this one. So putting this in the B tier and that ranks 6. All right, we're getting into my top 5 games that I've attended. So at number 5, we have the Detroit Pistons versus Boston Celtics. And this occurred on March 11th, 2022. I went to this game with my buddy Tommy, and he brought me this game for free, so shout out to him. And the final score of the game was 114 to 103 Celtics. For team highs in points, Cade Cunningham had 27, and Tatum had 31 points. And then for rebounds, we had 11 from Marvin Bagley, and then 9 from Robert Williams. And assists, Cade had 6, and Tatum also had 6. So kind of dueling duos right there. Additionally, though, pretty much the Celtics dominated this game. Tatum's full stat line was 31 points, 8 rebounds, and 6 assists, while Jaylen Brown also had 22 points, 8 rebounds, and 4 assists. Cade had a really great game overall of 27 points, 8 rebounds, and 6 assists. Got to also see Marvin Bagley III with 20 points and 11 rebounds, so a double-double. Jerry Grant also had 20, weird enough. And then no one really else of mention on this roster besides Kelly Olynyk had 13 minutes against us, so that was kind of fun to see. And then for the Celtics, I already mentioned Jaylen Brown and Tatum. Robert Williams had 12 and 9. Horford had 6 and 7. Marcus Smart had 20. And Derek White had 11. So kind of an interesting scoring distribution there. But just in terms of where we were sitting, we had the front row to ourselves, pretty much of the balcony, really close to the bathroom and concessions, so kind of got to go at our leisure. And the game wasn't too packed, I guess, so really not a lot of people there. But an additional cool factor was there was a, this was during the NBA 75th anniversary season, so they were honoring a lot of players on the court. So just to name a few, let me get the list up here real quick. We had, let's see, we had Antoine Walker, Paul Pierce. Who else we had here? We had Dana Barros, McDonald, Cedric Maxwell, Scalabrine, Leon Poe. Who else is that? I'm reading the last names here. Volk, McDonald, Graham, Scott, and then Posey. So, kind of cool to see all those guys there in person as well. They honored them at halftime. Paul Pierce did his usual shenanigans, just showing off and stuff. So that was fun. But overall, I'm gonna rank this game at number 5 and put it in at the A tier. That's right, just because of the all-around dominance from Tatum. Got to see all those Celtics greats at halftime, and the seats were just great. Had a great experience there. So overall, I'm going to put this in the 5th position in rank A. Okay, next up at number 4, we have my first game against the Miami Heat, but technically my second game against them, but my first one I'm going to be talking about here. So this happened on May 11th, 2021, and like I said, Miami Heat versus the Boston Celtics, and I attended this one with Layla, my first game with her. And this game was really interesting because this occurred during COVID-19 pandemic. So the TD Garden was actually not at full capacity. They only allowed about, if I want to say, maybe like 15 to 20% of the capacity of the stadium in. And we were lucky enough to get tickets to that game. So that was really cool. Really unique experience you'll never get again. Basically, we had like 2 or 3 rows all of ourselves. Nobody in front of us or behind us. All the rows were empty. And we were really close to the court. It was really an amazing experience. You could really hear everything on the court, all the players talking and saying stuff back and forth to each other. So that was really just a unique experience. And like I said, unfortunately, final score was 129 to 121 Miami Heat. That game went into overtime, if I do remember correctly. Actually, I'm sorry, no, it did not go into overtime. But the team highs, Tyler Hero had 24 points for the Heat, and Kemba Walker had 36 points. Rebounds, Tyler Hero had 11, so kind of just a good game from him, and Tatum had 8. And then assists, Bam Adebayo had 5 for the Heat, and Evan Fournier had 8 for the Celtics. Like I said, this was during COVID, so we were really close to the bench, and the players could hear us, and we could hear the players. Just got an email there. And I actually was so close, I was yelling Taco Fall's name because he was there so much, and he looked at me a couple times, and I got to wave at him, and he waved back. So really cool experience overall. Tatum's full stat line was 33 points, 8 rebounds, and 6 assists. So, again, pretty close to a triple-double territory. For the Heat, we had Jimmy Butler, X Factor for the Stars, I guess. He had 13 points, so not a great game from him. Bam Adebayo had 22, 7, and 5, so pretty good stat line. Kendrick Nunn had 18 and 7 rebounds, so kind of interesting. And Duncan Robinson, the local, he's from New Hampshire, he had 22 points. And like I said, 24 from Hero and 17 from Goran Dragic, so that's interesting. Andre Iguodala actually had 18 minutes in this game as well, so kind of cool to see him play. And then for the Celtics, we actually got to see Kemba Walker with 36 points. And Tristan Thompson had 28 minutes, 2 points and 3 rebounds for him. Not a great game at all. Marcus Smart had 10. And nobody else really had much of mention here. Jaylen Brown didn't play. But Tatum took over the scoring load of 33 points, like I said. Unfortunately, a loss here, but it's at my number 4 position. I'm ranking this in the A position just because of the the factor of we had the whole arena to ourselves, or basically to ourselves, and the whole row. Get to see the players really close, got to hear them talk, and like I said, like jab back and forth. So just for that factor, and just the fact that it'll never happen again in terms of the full or the half capacity for the Garden, I'm ranking that as my number 4th game and in the A tier. Okay, getting into the top 3 now. This game is actually has just happened over a year ago, January 27th, 2024, against the Los Angeles Clippers. So Clippers versus Celtics. This is another game I attended with Tommy. He brought me to this game again, free of charge, so that was great. Again, thank you to him. Final score, though, was actually 115-96 Clippers. The reason why this is so high, though, is because of the seats and the star power. We were so close. We were about maybe 4 rows back from, I guess, the floor. Probably the best seats I ever had. Got to be really close to a lot of really cool NBA legends and all-time greats. So let's get into the game. For team highs in points, Kawhi Leonard had 26. Jason Tatum had 21. Rebounds, James Harden had 8, and Tatum had 11. For assists, James Harden also had 7, and Drew Holiday had 4. So for additional information, this was the worst Celtics loss I've ever seen in person. However, it was really cool because you got to see Hall of Fame players like Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, James Harden, and Russell Westbrook. Nobody besides Tatum had a good game on offense, as Brown was held to 8 points, believe it or not. Full stat line from Tatum is 21 points, 11 rebounds, and like I said, Jaylen Brown only had 8 points, was held, and then 6 rebounds. Al Horford had 0 points in 19 minutes. Drew Holiday had 7 in 28 minutes. Peyton Pritchard had 12. And then Luke Cornett had 11. So just a really bad game all around. The Clippers held them down defensively. Like I said, Kawhi, this was Kawhi's game. He had 26 points, 7 rebounds, and 2 assists. And Paul George had 17 and 6. Then James Harden had 9, 7, and 8. So almost like a triple-double there. Terrence Mann had 14. And then Daniel Tice had 18 off the bench as well. And then Russell Westbrook only played in 15 minutes and had 4 points. So kind of cool just to see all those guys in person and warming up and things of that nature. And then again, we were really close to the action. Got to see kind of a vintage Kawhi, probably the last real good performance we'll see from him. I'm not saying he won't be back and have shades from himself there, but a game of 26 and 7 in 29 minutes from Kawhi, good efficiency. You probably won't see that very often soon. So I'm going to put this one in the A tier as well. Just again, because of the gameplay, star power, the seats we had, just a great overall entertaining experience despite the Celtics getting absolutely hammered. Like we knew by halftime we were going to lose, so we kind of had a different outlook by the end. So just a great game overall, and that's going to be put in the A tier. All right, coming in at number 2 is the only playoff game I've ever been to, and this happened on May 9th, 2018, and it was the Eastern Conference Semifinals, Game 5, with the Philadelphia 76ers and Boston Celtics. I attended this one with a group of my friends, which was really fun. Actually, it was the same day that I drove down from school. I went to UMaine, so I drove down from UMaine to my parents' house in the North Shore of Massachusetts, and as soon as I got home, my friends picked me up, and we took the train into Boston to watch the game. And the final score was 114-112 Celtics, and they got to move on to the Eastern Conference Finals to play the Cleveland Cavaliers. So that was cool, really cool to see that. Team highs, Joel Embiid had 27 and Jason Tatum had 25 for the points. Rebounds, Embiid also had 12, and Aaron Baines had 9. Assists, Ben Simmons had 6 and Marcus Smart had 6. Like I said, this was to go on to the Eastern Conference Finals. Crazy game from Dario Saric, actually. He played 40 minutes, the most on the team. And he had 27 points and 10 rebounds and 4 assists. He was knocking down threes left and right. I remember this. And then JJ Redick, was cool to see him play 14 points. And then, like I said, Embiid had 27 and 12. TJ McConnell played. He had 9 points. Ben Simmons had 18, 8, and 6. So kind of interesting to see Ben Simmons in his prime, I guess you could say. That's kind of all to mention for the Sixers lineup. It was a shorter lineup, of course, because it was a playoff game. And for the Celtics, the leading scorer of this game for us was Jason Tatum, a vintage Jason Tatum in his rookie year. 25 points, 4 assists, and 3 rebounds from Tatum in 39 minutes. And then Al Horford also had 15 points and 8 rebounds. And then we have Aaron Baines with 13 and 9. Terry Rozier played 40 minutes with 17 points and 6 rebounds. Jaylen Brown with 24 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists. And then we had Marcus Smart coming in with 14 points, 6 rebounds, and 6 assists. So a great all-around game from the Celtics in general. Just really close too at the end. Insane drama, and then Marcus Smart intercepted the inbound pass. So just a really insane game, and the star power was there. Got to see just really great performances from a young Celtics team, and got to go with my friends. And it was a playoff game. We won. Got to go on get into the Eastern Conference Finals, and the energy after we won and the game was insane. Our seats weren't even that great, but it was just the fact that we won. It was amazing. So that's why I'm putting it in the my number 2, and I'm putting this in the S tier. This was definitely an S tier experience for me. Playoff game in the Garden. We won to move on. Really close game until the end. The energy was crazy. Lots of Sixers fans were there. Got to see some arguments, so that was always fun as well. But like I said, this is my number 2 ranked game, and I'm putting it in the S tier. All right, we are already at my number 1 ranked game that I've attended for the Boston Celtics. And this game occurred on December 30th, 2016. And it was the Miami Heat versus Boston Celtics. I attended this one with one of my friends, and the final score was 117 to 114 Celtics. And the team highs points. James Johnson, believe it or not, had 22 points and led the way for the Miami Heat. And Isaiah Thomas had 52 points for the Celtics. And this game went into overtime as well. I want to mention that. That's kind of how IT got to 52. Rebounds, Justice Winslow had 9 and Al Horford had 6. Assists, Josh Richardson of the Miami Heat had 8, and Jay Crowder of the Celtics had 6. Like I said, IT scored 52 points in an efficient game. 15 of 26 field goals made, 9 for 13 three-pointers, and he made all of his 3 free throws. 13 of 13. Crazy game from Isaiah. He got us to overtime. He took over in the fourth quarter. It was something I had never seen in person. It was just truly an insane experience to see somebody that dominant playing live. And again, it's Isaiah Thomas. He is 5'9", going up against 6 foot, 6'5", 7-footers in this game. It's insane, guys. Additionally, Al Horford had a great game. 21 points, 6 rebounds, and 4 assists. Jumping over to the Miami Heat, though, the leading scorer of this team, like I said, was James Johnson with 22, but everyone kind of had a great game. Tyler Johnson off the bench had 19 points. Wayne Ellington had 14. Josh Richardson had 19 points. Hassan Whiteside with 11. And then Justice Winslow with 11 as well. So just a high-scoring game. Lots of guys had 10-plus points. And then over to the Celtics, we're going into it's kind of an interesting era for the Celtics here. Like I said, Isaiah Thomas had 52. Al Horford had 21, and then the next highest scoring player had 9 points. So it kind of goes to show how dominant IT was in this game. IT's full stat line, 52 points, 2 rebounds, 0 assists, all pure scoring. And then, like I said, Jay Crowder was the next third leading scorer with 9 points, 6 assists, 2 rebounds. Amir Johnson had 8. And then nobody else really of note. Terry Rozier played 21 minutes in this game. And Jaylen Brown, rookie Jaylen Brown, had 6 points in 16 minutes. So overall, interesting game. However, this game went to overtime, and it was an insane finish. Like I said, Isaiah Thomas just took over, and it was truly an amazing thing to watch. And I remember when the game was starting and the Celtics first took the floor, the friend that I went with said, Oh, who is that little guy out there? Is he a player? And they were pointing at Isaiah, and I was like, yeah, he's actually the star player of the team. And boy, did Isaiah show them. He scored 52, I keep saying, and at the time it was his career high. And then he scored 53 in a playoff game later on that year against the Wizards. So no longer his career high anymore, but just an insane all-around game that I will always cherish that memory, and that's why it's at number 1. Isaiah Thomas is my second favorite player of all time, next to Jason Tatum at 1. And this game is going in the S tier. It's my number 1 ranked game. Seeing a player of that caliber take over the game and just make every shot was insane to watch. I truly have great memories of that game, and it's definitely going to be number 1 for a long time unless something truly special trumps it. So, like I said, 52 points from Isaiah. That is my number 1 ranked game in the S tier. All right, guys, that's it. Those are my 11 Celtics games ranked from worst to best. And those are the games, like I said, that I've attended. So really hope you guys enjoyed this one. This was a really fun video to go through and get all the stats and really just kind of live back those memories of those games I went to. And like I said, I hope to go to many more games in the future and update this list in real time. So stay tuned for that. I'll probably just upload single videos of the game I went to and just recap it and add it on to this existing tier list. So really excited to just kind of go on and keep documenting the games I've been to. That's just a really fun way to kind of keep track of the personal record and things like that. Actually, to mention, I didn't mention this until now, I guess, but my overall record for games attended, the Celtics are 5-6, so not a great record, losing record. Really hope to change that soon. And it's actually been a streak. I think the last 3 games I've been to, they've lost, or 3 or 4 games I've been to, they've lost. So really not a good streak. However, they won a championship in between then, so kind of funny. But anyway, really hope you guys enjoyed this one. Please leave a like and subscribe and comment. This took a long time to compile, like I said. So please, if you really enjoyed, just show your appreciation by engaging on the video. But anyway, I'm going to peace out here. See y'all again in the future for more Celtics games. And without further ado, I'm going to peace out here and say bye. See ya.